older and he doesn't have intensity. He doesn't really want to be out there. He's just out there because he's better an athlete than everybody else. And a lot of the same things were said about him. So we'll see. We'll see, but that's not a good look. Because somebody critiques you, you take offense to it to that degree where you don't even want to do the interview. And I guess that's your right. If you feel some way about that, you can kind of control what you put out in 2017 as far as you, and you can talk to anybody who you want to talk to. I just don't know. I think that's a little bit sensitive for a guy that does this for a living in Booger McFarland and critiquing players. You know, he works with the SEC network since the very beginning of the SEC network. Played in the SEC for LSU, obviously. So he's an SEC guy. For a guy to make some comments about your game and not your personality and not make it anything personal, and you not to want to talk to him and address that, maybe you go in there and you go off on him. Maybe you do the interview and you defend yourself and you say why Booger McFarland is off base in his commentary about you in the past. Maybe you do that. You know, don't run from a damn fight. I don't know. It just seems a little bit Ralph Tresvant-ish type to me. I don't know about that. Yeah. I don't think it was personal from what I can tell and what Booger McFarland said about dude. And once again, if you're Myles Garrett, maybe you come in there and you defend yourself. Maybe you defend yourself. Maybe you tell Booger McFarland on why he's wrong or why he's looking at your career in the wrong light. You know, not trying to oblige them with an interview. I don't know if that's a good look if you're an NFL team. Like, that says a little bit to me like you're a little bit sensitive. And if you let some dude talking about you get up under your skin to that degree, imagine what it's going to be like on Sunday afternoon when you got a 290, 320-pound offensive tackle, you know, talking ish about your mama, your cousins, and everybody, and punching your ass in the gut. You know? Are you just going to shut down? Or are you going to take that challenge on like a man? I don't know. Not a good look, I don't think, by Myles Garrett. From Andre Elam, Mr. Harper, Clowney was to be considered only because he was hurt and hadn't been on the field. Yeah, but if somebody is hurt and their production is down, or you don't get what you expect out of them because of injury, that's a different conversation. You know, people weren't bringing that up when they were talking about Jadeveon Clowney, you know, being a bust or thus far in his career being a bust. It was people wanting to say that I was right. I told you about Jadeveon Clowney. I told you he wasn't going to be that good of a player. I mean, people have been waiting, been sitting on the edge of their seats trying to say that about Clowney. No. If you want to talk about Clowney, talk about the fact that he had not been healthy over the first couple of years in the NFL. Yeah, this man couldn't be blocked last year, man. In the playoffs, that man was balling out of control. From Clay YC Squidward Davis, exactly, Duck, and these football people are looking for anything to criticize. From Thale Pay, oh yeah, I forgot. Well, I don't know if contributing could clear him from the bust category. Casey, what does Myles Garrett say to the teams who may draft him when they ask him about his motor? Right. Like I'm sure, even at the Combine, they have these one-on-one interviews. So if he is that sensitive about some dude on ESPN that really I wouldn't give a rat's ass about if I was Myles Garrett. I don't give a shit about what Booger McFarland got to say about me. Like, it's basically already predetermined. I'm about to be filthy rich in a couple of weeks. I'm about to get a $27, $28 million signing bonus. I could give a rat's ass about what some ninja says on TV about me. From Wody Ryan, Whoop Doug 504. I like how Sherman went to Skip for talking negatively about him on Skip's show. I'm better than you at life, Richard Sherman. Very good example, very good analogy. Skip Bayless had been going after cats for many, many years, going after Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman got in that show and straight clown Skip. I actually love that. I'm better at life than you. I'm better at life than you is what Richard Sherman said. I love that. And and I guess maybe Myles Garrett didn't want to do something that some people, it's almost like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. If he would have came on there and went off on Booger McFarland, then a lot of people in the media would have been like, that was unprofessional. Or he just went on there and just went over the top or whatever. And that doesn't show well on his character. So he probably couldn't win no matter what. But that's just a bad look. It's kind of like a bad look that you're that sensitive about some comments, some professional comments about your game. Everybody don't have to love you, bro. Everybody don't have to love you. From Grego, who he also said, Browns, I will make you pay if you don't pick me. I think the guy is going to be the number one pick. Doug is calling someone sensitive. Yeah, I am. Oh, you're trying to say that I'm sensitive on the Doug Stewart Show? Man, this is just radio. From Andre Elon, Mr. Harper, he was out of position and hurt. The Texans tried to make the man play hurt, and he said, hell no. He shut it down until he was finally healthy. Let's see. From Thorny Switch, well, guess what, Doug? Garrett said, F that. I ain't coming on. Yeah. And at the same time, I can look from another side, says I'm not doing anybody any favors that talk negatively about me. But I think the problem with that thinking is that the man was doing his job. Right. I can understand if, perfect example, guy mentioned a little bit earlier, I can understand if he went on and on and on, kind of like the way Skip Bayless went on and on and on about, how bad of a person Terrell Owens was. I can understand if Skip Bayless, if you went on and on like Skip Bayless about how LeBron James wasn't a good basketball player, which is ridiculous. If you're saying something ridiculous and over the top like Skip has done many, many times in his career on TV, that's one thing. But when you give a critical assessment of somebody in the way that they play the game on the field, not personal, not personal, not like the dude, I can't remember his name was, the columnist that wrote the scathing report about Cam Newton when he came out of college. That was over the top. That was too much. That was stepping across the line. If you remember the details of that, what the guy had to say about Cam. That was over the line. Booger McFarland saying that I don't think that, Myles Garrett plays with a motor when he should. He doesn't give 100% at all times. And, I think he's a little bit soft because he hadn't put up the numbers that he should against inferior competition in the conference and the SEC. And that's another thing. From Thorny Switch, Sanchez is a bust if we are being real. He was so hyped up coming out of college and in his first year with the Jets. I think that pretty much based on he was drafted at and his level of production, he would be slightly below average. He would be, in the tipping of the category of being a bust. Now, he did play in 2 AFC championship games. You're talking about Mark Sanchez, I believe. He did play in 2 AFC championship games, but, you can put a lot of that credit or give a lot of that credit to the defense of the Jets during those years. From T-Dub, Booger McFarland is always giving negative criticism. But that's what he does. He's an analyst. I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to bump for him, but based on the details and the variables that I have in the story, the man's doing his job. Period. You can't, you can't always say that somebody's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And plus, Booger McFarland played in the NFL. Booger McFarland got 2 rings. Who did he play with? Tampa Bay, obviously, with that great Tampa Bay defense that they had. And also he played with the Indianapolis Colts when they won the Super Bowl. From Loose Neck Side, live in Dallas, and Skip Bayless worked here for years until he got ass run out of town after his book calling Troy Aikman gay. Right, now that's stepping across the line. If you don't have no facts that the man is gay, you shouldn't say that. From Harvey Scott, these analysts like Booger and Stephen A. Smith will never call any white number prospect soft, but have no issue with doing that to a brother. Huh? Okay, I don't know if Booger McFarland has called any black athlete or any white athlete soft or whatever, but I think I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, Stephen A. Smith is a different category. You talk about Stephen A. Smith, you know how Stephen A. Smith do it. I don't even want to comment. I mean, all right, maybe you have something there, but I don't think that that Booger McFarland has done anything so inflammatory that I would put him in the same category with Stephen A. Smith. Nah, I'm just not going to do the brother like that. No, From Clay, YC, Squidward, Davis, Sandman, exactly. He low-key called Garrett soft. From Rail Scott, Aikman is a steak thrower. Oh, boy. I don't know anything about Troy Aikman throwing steaks. From T-Dub, never heard his name on one tackle. Road, Sapp, and the kid from Illinois. The kid from Illinois, you're talking about Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp. I think he was a starter. I don't know in relative terms to Derek Brooks. In relative terms to Derek Brooks and Simeon Rice and Warren Sapp, yeah, his name probably wouldn't call a lot, but I think, and I may be wrong, I think Booger McFarland was a starter on that defensive line right next to Warren Sapp. If you started for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the years where they were under Tony Dungy and the 1 year when they went to the Super Bowl under John Gruden, you can play football. Don't act like because you disagree because you're a Myles Garrett fan and you may think that Booger McFarland is wrong on this. Don't act like Booger McFarland couldn't play football. I'm sorry, T-Dub. I'm sorry, T-Dub. No, don't act like Booger McFarland could not play football, sir. I totally, vehemently disagree with you on that. The fact that you was a starter, I'm relatively sure he was a starter. I can't think of who else was on that D-line. And the fact that you were a starter on the defensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl is all you need to know. Simple as that. Period. Yeah. From Al Flip Switch Thompson. So it sounds like Booger was the Mike Golick of the Tampa Bay defense. Maybe. They're talking about Mike Golick for the Philadelphia Eagles. From T-Dub, Sapp getting double, yet you made no tackles. Oh, boy. I'm going to look up the great Booger McFarland's bio and try to refresh my memory about how good of a player he was. Did he make a Pro Bowl or anything like that? I doubt it. When we get back from the break, man, I think I'll try to whittle down my top 5 list of the most bizarre, crazy things I've seen in sports. And also quickly, man, Heisman front runners. And last little talk about the closing of the Palace at Auburn Hills and a joke in Dallas. A couple little things we need to touch upon today before we get out of here. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show.